Hi guys, Darkovica here, back to talk some more about the Writathon. I hope you guys don't mind. I don't know what's going on in my head. Every time I record these, I'm like usually butt tired. It is 11:09 p.m., which is normal for me. Being a stay-at-home mom, I generally don't really get time to myself until late at night anyways, so it's not like I would be going to sleep before now. Writing at night is totally fine for me. This is probably my most productive period. It's also my most unproductive period. It just depends on my mood. But I do all my writing at night. So there's that. I have done 3 chapters today, and today being November 4th, which is the 5th day of the Writathon. I'm 23% of the way through. I'm at, okay, hang on. I'm sorry. My Writathon counter says 12,873 words, but I have a chapter that is scheduled and it doesn't count that until it's posted. And that has over 2,000, here, hang on, let me see, where's my giraffes? Yeah, that has like 2,114 words. So I am 14,000 words into this Writathon on day 5, which is fine. I know some people are probably going to be concerned that I might burn out, but having done NaNoWriMo for a really, really long time, I know that I burn out at the end of November, and that's if I pace myself, that's if I'm on schedule, that's if I'm ahead of schedule. I will burn out around Thanksgiving, regardless of where I'm at. So I am like right now, while I have the inspiration and the fire, I am trying to utilize it, because once Thanksgiving hits, I'm out. And one of the things that I really, really want to try to do is to hit the first milestone, because the thing about Writathon is that there are 2 milestones, and the first milestone is to write 25,000 words by November 16th. Obviously, I have 12 days to do that, and I am more than halfway through at about 14 to 15,000 words, give or take. So I really only have like 10,000, I keep looking at my yarn in the background. I really only have like 10,000 words left before I hit that milestone, which is fine. I want to be there. That first milestone, if you hit it, they create a list. The list will be announced to everyone, and it will show the fictions that are seriously participating in this challenge to make it easier for readers to find these stories. So that's partly why I want to hit that milestone. I don't know that anybody is even really interested in my story. Royal Road is more of like this isn't necessarily like definitively true about Royal Road, but most of the fictions that get posted there right now tend to be of lit RPG or progression fantasy or just high fantasy in general. And obviously my story is like a contemporary / supernatural horror fiction story, which doesn't really meet that, even though there's video games in it, sort of. I don't know. I'm still really pleased with the view counts that I'm getting, which might be because I've spent so long being such a comfortably small YouTuber, and I say that lovingly with absolutely zero regrets. So seeing views, like I have 87 views on my first chapter, and to me that I'm like, oh, 87, that's awesome. I expected none. So if that is you guys, thank you. And even if it's not, thank you to everyone who is going out to read this as I post it. Like, genuinely, thank you. I love serializing. I didn't realize how much I was going to enjoy doing this. Like, I genuinely love serializing my writing. I mean, I did fan fiction a long time ago, which I've talked about before. And I loved doing fan fiction. I did that when I was in high school, and that was like life altering. And I guess it should make sense that I would still really like doing that kind of serialization. So, just something I've been thinking about is that I definitely want to keep, excuse me, I definitely want to keep doing that. So I have other projects that I have been writing. I have a lit RPG. Sorry, no, it's more like a progression fantasy. It's an isekai story. Throwing these words around like everyone's gonna understand it. just to very quickly go over it, lit RPG is a subgenre of fantasy and science fiction, which has a new umbrella term, speculative fiction. There we go. Almost said spectral. Speculative fiction, in which there is generally a character who is in a video game style world. This usually involves some kind of system, leveling up, skills that have skill names, achievements, that sort of thing, experience points, quests, and it's all extremely video game style. A popular novel that is considered lit RPG is Ender's Game. Almost forgot it. Ender's Game is considered lit RPG. It was not necessarily written at a time when lit RPG was a coined term, but there are books from previous time periods, that sounded weird, that are considered lit RPG that obviously were not written when that was a term. Progression fantasy is an offshoot of lit RPG, or the other way around. I think it's actually the other way around. I think progression fantasy is the parent and lit RPG is a child. That was programmer speak. So progression fantasy is basically any story in which a character starts out weak and progresses to become powerful. You might think that most stories meet that criteria, but I believe generally speaking that for a story to be labeled as progression fantasy, it needs to be a very, very core aspect of the story. So obviously most anime would be considered like a progression fantasy because you have a character who starts out as like a bum, and then at the end of the anime they're going to be mega super duper ultra super duper powerful Superman. Obviously there are anime in which characters are not that, and I think One Punch Man starts out super strong. I don't know, I haven't watched anime in a while. I'm gonna be dead honest. Oh, My Hero Academia is probably progression fantasy, except I've only seen like 3 episodes of it and then I dropped it, so I'm going off of those 3 episodes that I've seen. So anyways, I digress. There you go. That's that. That's that explained. Isekai is a Japanese word that is used to basically umbrella term any story in which a character is sent into another world. So I think that is also called a portal fantasy. Essentially, a character either enters a portal or dies, it doesn't matter, and they wind up within another world. Usually a book or a game that they know of or something like that. Not always. So there you go. Transmigration is another version of that, in which a person dies and their soul is put into the body of another person. I can't think of any examples off the top of my head, but there are plenty. That's it. They're very popular tropes, subgenres, whatever. I digress. That's Royal Road, and that's where I'm at with all my writing. So I'm really, really pleased. I'm having an amazing time. My view counts have been really, really like steady across all of my chapters, which is just really, really cool. And I genuinely appreciate that. Like I have 2 unique followers, one of which is God King R. Bless you. Thank you so much for reading my work. Like, you guys jumped on it, and I genuinely appreciate everyone who went to go read it. I will include the link in the description again in case anybody wants to read it. Heads up, it's a horror novel, and there's some gnarly stuff in there regarding flies and maggots. I am definitely not sleeping that great. I'm gonna be dead honest, and I'm not even joking. Since starting this, I haven't slept that great. I think I am subconsciously thinking about the horror story, and these are things, but these are things that I'm like genuinely afraid of. I'm terrified of. So I am just living my best life. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. I don't know what the plan is. There's no upload plan. I'm not like, I still consider myself retired. I know that I had talked about wanting to like come back and talk about things, you know, in terms of my writing, because that was what I wanted to focus on when I retired from YouTube, was my writing. And I wanted to wait and be able to come back and say, look, I did it. I'm publishing something. Just to be able to show you guys and tell you guys that I did it. And I'm going to count this, and I'll especially count it once it's finished. So I'm doing no advertising or anything like that. I don't even know if I want to. The cover I made in Canva, slap that together without even Photoshop, nothing. I just used Canva. So It's working great. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.